I wanted to talk about white privilege and the Brock Turner rape case. Now, Brock Turner is a man who brutally raped a woman and he got let off scot-free. Now, people are saying Brock Turner has white privilege and that's why he was let off. I've said many times before that privilege is based on money. It's not based on race. Brock Turner was let off because he's rich. He comes from a rich family. His parents have the power and the money to get him off. And that's why he was let off. People need to realize that every white person is not rich. And every black person is not poor. He was let off because he's rich. If Brock Turner came from a poor family, if he grew up in a trailer park and he came from a poor family, he would be in prison right now, serving 20 years in prison. Because that's how much time you get when you're convicted of rape. Most people who are convicted of rape usually do 10 to 20 years in prison. You look at a case like Brian Banks. Brian Banks came from a poor family. He was a teenager who came from a poor family when he was falsely accused of rape, and he served 10 years in prison, and he was able to prove that he was wrongly convicted because the woman confessed that she made the whole thing up in order to sue the school for money. Brian Banks was convicted and sent to prison because he comes from a poor family. When you come from a poor family, you're not going to have the money and resources to defend yourself in a court of law. And that's why Brian Banks was sent to prison for 10 years. Now you look at a case like Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy is a rich NFL football player. He has millions and millions of dollars. And he has a long history of assaulting women, of brutalizing women. And every time he beats up a woman or assaults a woman, he never gets sentenced to prison. He gets let off scot-free every time. The reason why he gets let off scot-free every time is because he has the money and power to buy his way out of it. Greg Hardy's net worth is over $50 million. He has the money to buy off the judge. He has the money to buy off the jury. He has the money to buy off the lawyers. And when you have that much money and resources, you're going to get off every time. You're going to get away with it every time. Greg Hardy has privilege. He has privilege because he's rich. And this is what privilege is based on. It's not based on race. It's based on money. So when I see a lot of SJWs saying that every white person has privilege and every black person doesn't, that's complete bullshit. Rich black people have privilege. Rich white people have privilege. Privilege is based on money. It's not based on race. There's plenty of poor whites that are being sent to prison, just like there's plenty of poor blacks who are being sent to prison. There's a case in Texas where this teenage white boy was selling marijuana pot brownies. He was selling brownies mixed with marijuana. And at first they were going to give him 100 years in prison for selling weed. For basically selling weed. 100 years in prison for selling weed. And the reason why this boy is given this much punishment is because he comes from a poor family. He's a white kid who comes from a poor family. And when you come from a poor family, you don't have the money and resources to defend yourself in court. I don't believe any person should be sent to prison for marijuana. I believe marijuana should be legalized nationwide. It's absolutely outrageous that any person should be sent to prison for selling weed. It's absolutely outrageous. But they got his prison sentence down to 10 years. He eventually got 10 years in prison for selling pot browns. That's absolutely ridiculous. But they went from going to give him 100 years in prison, and he was able to get a plea deal and get it took down to 10 years in prison. But the ridiculous notion that he would even get that much time for selling weed is outrageous. But this goes to show that privilege is not based on color. Privilege is based on money. Whether you're black or white, if you come from a poor family, you're going to have a disadvantage when you go into the courtroom. If you come from a rich family, or if you're rich yourself, like Greg Hardy is, you're going to have an advantage. You're going to have the advantage to get away with it. You're going to have the advantage to buy your way out of it. It's the same thing with Bill Cosby. Over 50 women have accused Bill Cosby of rape. And Bill Cosby has never served a day in jail. The reason why Bill Cosby will never go to prison is because Bill Cosby is a billionaire. When you got the type of money and power that Bill Cosby has, you're going to get away with it every time. It doesn't matter whether Bill Cosby is guilty or not. Bill Cosby could rape 1,000 women, and he will never go to prison. Because when you have the type of money and resources that Bill Cosby has, he's going to get away with it every time. He can afford to pay off the judge. He can afford to pay off the jury. He can afford to buy his way out of it. And that's what money and privilege gives you. And this is why I keep telling people, privilege is not based on race. It's based on money. So a lot of these SJWs need to stop using the term white privilege. I think we need to fix the justice system so it's fair to all people, regardless whether you're rich or poor. We need to focus on the unfair justice system because they give rich people more privilege than poor people. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be based on the crimes that you commit. If you commit a crime of rape, of brutalizing a woman, you should be sent to prison, whether you're rich or poor. And that's how it should be. Nobody should get a slap on the wrist after raping and brutalizing a woman. Brock Turner is the scum of the earth. But he's going to get away with it because he has money. He could rape 5 more women and he will never go to prison because he has money, he has power. His privilege is not based on his race, it's based on the fact that he's rich. Just like Bill Cosby, just like Greg Hardy. When you have their type of money, you're not going to prison. You're not going to face punishment for the crimes that you commit. I think if we really want to change the justice system, we have to focus on what's really important. And what's really important is not race, it's money. We need to focus on the unfairness between rich and poor, not black and white. I think a lot of the SJWs who only want to focus on race, I think what they're doing is counterproductive. It's counterproductive because they're focusing on the wrong thing. That's why I can't stand SJWs. They want to divide everybody by race. They want to put forth this false notion that every white person is rich and every black person is poor, when that's complete nonsense. There's just as many poor white people as there is poor black people. And some of the most richest, powerful people in America are black, are Latino, are people of color. So stop assuming that every white person is rich and every black person is poor. Privilege is not based on race, it's based on money. A lot of people have different opinions about this topic. Leave a comment, rate, and subscribe.